Hello, and welcome to Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sally, joined by my co-host, Katie. We're identical twin sisters. We invite you to join us as we investigate our similarities and differences in all things life has to offer. Hi, everyone, it's Sally. This episode is for our extra credit students. It includes sexually explicit content. We also discuss the topic of Facebook and Instagram stalking, not to be confused with actual stalking, which is something we take incredibly serious, and our hearts are with those who experience it. Katie and I tried to be as honest as possible in this episode's content. Our hopes are we help normalize some topics we previously felt shame around. I hope you enjoy. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Twin Study After Dark. I'm your host, Sally. And
I'm your other host, Katie.
All right, guys, so last week we left off with a story about our visit to a psychic and how we were traveling to Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah,
and things got a little crazy once we got to Savannah. But honestly, it was a great city. I loved it, and I highly recommend you visiting it.
Yeah, we have some really good stories, and I would say Savannah's the perfect place for a weekend trip.
For sure. Especially for us because it's driving distance.
It was really good.
Yeah, it really was.
It rained the entire time.
We learned a couple things about ourselves. Like, I can no longer drink and stay up late.
And I don't really like cities.
Katie does not like cities.
I honestly, okay.
So but is this a revelation? Because you've never liked cities.
Okay, but I would say that I like cities because cities are typically where there's like a big artist community or, there's culture. And I love the arts and I love culture. But when I was in Savannah, which, is a city, I was so fixated on the smell.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't get over it.
I couldn't get over it.
She kept being like, what is that smell? And I was like, I think it's urine.
I don't... Are we naive? We looked it up. It was paper plants or something. Oh,
is it paper? Is that what they said?
I think so.
Okay, well, anyway, it smelled like urine or something to me.
But I think I want to believe that I like cities, but every time I go to a city, I'm like, I need to go back.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
I think what made it feel more...
Oh, it was so loud, too.
No, it was dreary. It wasn't sunny.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're making it seem like we hated Savannah. We loved Savannah. We did actually love it. But if it had been sunny, it would have been even better.
It would have been better.
Me and Kitty don't do well with the gloom.
If it's dreary for more than 48 hours, I sink into some kind of sadness.
I don't even know how we lasted so long.
That I can't describe.
How did we live in Wisconsin?
I was depressed the entire time.
Yeah, I was too. I was like, oh my God, I thought I had depression. But then you moved to a sunny state and you're like, it's not as bad anymore.
It's because it was gray when you woke up and gray when you got home.
It was black. Yeah, I know. So anywho.
So that's why we ended up in Florida.
Now we're in Florida because we have seasonal depression. And that in fact is true for both of us. That is a twin study that we have confirmed. We do not like the gray. So...
And for the people that like it, power to you. I have a person in my office that loves every time it rains. Mm-hmm. They love it. And
I think Adam likes it.
I can enjoy the rain. So we go to Savannah, Georgia. We're there first night. And I'm with two people who I actually absolutely love. And it's one of my best friends and my sister.
But we cannot hang.
Childhood
anymore.
friend. But they cannot hang for the life of them.
Okay, so I have a couple things to say about that.
Okay, you can say them after I'm done with the story.
Okay.
Because first night in a city and they don't want to actually hang out. They're so tired. We went to dinner and I think it was hard to even get you to drink anything.
No, I know, but I was just so full.
I know you... I don't get it.
Okay, so I was thinking about this because I was really disappointed with I can't rally anymore, basically. I can't turn up.
But it's wild. You have 4 children. You rally all the time. You just can't rally with adults.
I don't know. I honestly was like, I think that I got really full at dinner because I guess, and you're going to love this because you always say I don't eat enough, I guess maybe I haven't had a full meal in a while.
Yeah, you like the leftovers from your children.
And I ate a ton. And then afterward, they wanted to go and get drinks. Katie was ready to go and get drinks. And I was like, I wish I could, but I'm just so full.
Okay, so, all right.
My tummy doesn't have any room.
I'm heading back to the Airbnb more sober than I want to be. And, and if I had...
Katie was like, Well, at least we have wine at the Airbnb.
I'm just saying, I'm on vacation, quote unquote. Like, can I relax? Can I relax my shoulders? So I'm already...
I was relaxed. I just wasn't drunk.
I go back to the Airbnb earlier than I think we're going to go back, and with less alcohol in me, which I don't need to be drunk, but, like, I want to be relaxed. Like I said, I was not at that relaxation level, and what I walk into...
It takes a lot for Katie to get relaxed.
What I walk into is, like, if I could have walked into that with a buzz,
okay, so
I would have totally been different about this situation.
First of all, this Airbnb... I honestly would not stay there again, though the location of downtown was awesome, right? Like, it was a good location downtown. But it was, like, you walk in, there's a code on the building, door. It wasn't like there was no lobby. You open the door and it's like a dark hallway.
It's a corridor to a staircase to the upstairs apartments. And we picked it because of the location.
Katie picked it, by the way.
It was very close to the river, and we've never been to Savannah. I was like, we want to be near the river. That's where everything is. Now I know I want to be near the bar Pinkies or whatever it's called.
Yeah, we were like noted. Like, we want to be
the
over
the
here.
townhomes where the families
where
live.
the Girl Scouts were established. That's
where we'd like to be next time.
Yeah, that's where we are going to be next time.
So, that was a learning lesson. But where we stayed, I'm not going to give too much information because I don't want to bash this Airbnb because I think for a group it's a great location.
But it's not big enough for a group.
But I do a lot of solo travel, and if I were traveling solo and this was my place, I would have been like, hey, Marriott, I'm checking in for the night.
Hey, can I please
spend
$500 to stay at your downtown
I'm
resort?
leaving this Airbnb right now, and I'm walking to you, and I'm going to stay here.
And I'm going to stay on the phone with you just in case.
Until
I get there.
Yeah. So we get to our Airbnb. I'm more sober than I want to be, and I open the door to a man getting pleasured by a woman directly, like, right in front of me. Like, it's not down the hallway.
So Katie was leading the way because me and Rachel were, honestly, with me and our friend, we were kind of like falling asleep. Like, we were walking really slow.
We were so tired, and I was like...
It was like 9:30 too.
Yeah, so I open the door, and it's like this man being pleasured by this woman, and you can interpret that however you want it to be, but I saw too much. And I think...
But you didn't. You kept going.
I just was... But because...
Like, I would have turned around.
What was I going to do?
Turned around and gone through the other back door.
If I had been alone, though, I really would have been like, JW Marriott, what are you up to?
Yeah.
But because I was with a group, I was like, I guess I'm just going to walk past them.
They also didn't seem like they lived there.
No, they definitely didn't live there, and they were just utilizing the indoor space to do their business. And
me and our friend were following Katie behind her. She kept walking, so we assumed all was okay. We open the door, and all we see is this girl literally, like, I honestly, okay, this might sound like, then you can really figure out what they were doing, but she was on her knees turning towards the wall, like, almost like she put herself in timeout, and the guy was, like, running away. Like, they were not together, because if they were, they're broken up now.
Yeah, there's no way they were a couple.
But I didn't know what happened, so I was just like, I honestly was about to bend down to the girl and say, are you okay? But honestly, it felt weird. Like, it felt really sketchy. Like, I was like, why aren't you showing your face? And why are you just turned around facing a wall? Like, I was like, is she on drugs? Like, what's going on? So me and Rachel, like, ran to the stairs, and then we, like, burst out laughing when we got to the hotel, or not the hotel room, the apartment room. And Katie was just like, guys, do you know what I just walked into? And we had no idea.
I poured myself a giant glass of wine, and I was like, if I had been traveling alone, I think I would have stayed here the rest of the trip. In this room by myself. I'm not selling Savannah, but let's just summarize. So, Savannah is an amazing place. You have to go. There's so much history.
Go look up an Airbnb by Pinkies.
Yeah, highly recommend the area by the Girl Scout house.
Or if you can splurge on a local chain hotel, it might be worth it if you want to be in downtown.
But you probably want to be in that nice neighborhood.
I never even felt like that unsafe, honestly, but there were definitely people getting into our building that did not live there.
I really don't feel like I felt unsafe either. It was just like something I don't really want to be around.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when we got home, so we're gonna transition here because this is going to go into the twin study topic of the day. So when we got home, of course, I was like posting pictures on social media and stuff of our trip and stuff like that. I go in waves where I'm really good at it and waves when I'm really bad at it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to post my pictures, even though they all looked like they were of us and they were like kind of all the same. But you could tell we were in a dark and dreary place. But anyway, as I was posting pictures, I got an alert that an unnamed ex of Katie's liked one of my photos. And I will say I don't follow this person anymore, but I guess he follows me still. I didn't know. You know when you unfollow someone, you don't look if they like unfollow you too?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know he still followed me, but I got an alert and I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen this name in a while. And then I look at the picture and he's actually scrolled a little bit. Like it's like a little bit down on my Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, he's definitely stalking. So I go to that picture and like 5 seconds later, it's gone.
Oh.
He like took it away.
Interesting.
So like my thought process was like, oh, okay, he was like definitely looking and accidentally double tapped.
Oh, yeah.
Because like people do that all the time.
Yeah, but like own that.
Yeah, I know. I would have just left it.
I would have just left it.
I mean, honestly, especially if you still follow me, like, it's not like you don't follow me. If you didn't follow me, that'd be one thing. But he still follows me. I didn't know
Was it a photo that I'm in, or was it just, like, family photo?
No, I mean, it's a family photo. It's like our family trip to Disney World. But, like, you're in the first photo.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, yay or nay on stalking exes?
Ooh. Interesting. I have so many thoughts about this.
Okay, well, share them, because that's why we have a podcast.
Okay. I have so many thoughts that I need to collect, because at a certain time in your life, I think
okay. You're going to... I know what you're doing.
I'm excusing my behavior.
You're excusing your behavior.
Yes.
No, do not do that.
Okay.
Just talk honestly. Okay. Yes or no?
I think it's natural to stalk an ex.
Okay, you're still doing it.
But I do not think that you should communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that...
And we're saying that's hypothetical.
This is a very in-depth topic, because it just really depends. And I know you're trying to cut me off, but I can't not think about all the different scenarios. There's scenarios where I am divorced, so I have an ex that I communicate with daily. Yeah. And my partner...
I mean, obviously, though, that's not stalking them.
No, but I'm just saying, like, my partner has to be such a secure person to be, like, totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But, like, I would never... That's different than reaching... Maybe you have families, maybe you're both married. I think it's totally acceptable to be like, I'm happy for them. Mm-hmm. I love seeing how happy they are. I love seeing their family photos.
Yeah.
And assume that they feel the same towards you.
Okay. So I think that I agree, I think, to an extent. So I think, honestly, anybody that says they've never stalked an ex is lying.
Yes.
And probably unhappy in their life. Because if you're secure, you're able to admit, yeah, of course I've looked. Like, of course.
Out of curiosity?
Of course. I think that...
Honestly, it hurts my feelings to believe that, like, my exes wouldn't be like, I'm just curious if she's doing... Is she still alive?
You know, and I was actually thinking of this today, too. So, I have personally reached out to exes. And it's been, like, years after, okay? Because, like, the trauma afterward, like, right after, that's a different situation, right? That's, like, you're still trying to, like, get over them. But, like, I've reached out to exes that were, like, friends on Instagram, or honestly, let me think. Were we still friends on Instagram? All of us. Some of us were, some of us weren't. I've reached out and actually apologized for my behavior.
Okay, so that was another thing I was going to say. In my opinion, if you're reaching out... First off, if you're going to reach out to an ex, do not reach out. If you're in a relationship at that time, or they're in a relationship at that time, you're in the wrong.
Wait, what?
Okay, no. Not like... I'm saying, like, one of them is single. Like, you're single or they're single.
Okay, if somebody is single...
If somebody's still single, save your...
Like, the single person can't reach out.
Save your breath and your energy, and do not do that. That's so rude. But...
And because it's, like, disrespectful to the person they're dating.
It's disrespectful to the person they're dating.
Okay, I agree. If you're single, like, don't be reaching out to your exes.
Yes.
I agree.
Unless they're single, too, and you really think you have a chance at getting back together... I don't think it'd
be a healthy place.
Exactly. I don't think it's worth it.
So I have reached out to exes, and what I was saying is I have apologized, because I'm sorry for anyone that dated me from year 17 to 27. I was really in a different place. Like, you know, you're making mistakes, you're being selfish, you're finding your footing, and honestly, a lot of people and me had, like, I mean, we've dated a lot of people.
I also think...
I haven't reached out to everyone, but the ones that were big, I've reached out to and I've apologized for some things.
I do think, and this is just me saying it because... Okay, this is a joke. Okay, so I wish I'd received some apologies.
I was thinking that too.
So because every time, if somebody says they've reached out to apologize to somebody, I'm like, you know what? I don't think that's tacky. I think that's fucking brave and really good.
But let me tell you, has one man reached out and apologized?
Not without me instigating a conversation.
Ditto.
And I honestly feel like it's hilarious because I always say everything I let go of has like scratch marks on it. There's a quote that says that, and I've always saw that, and I was like, that's so me, because I do not let go of something until I've exhausted every outlet, every possible thing we could try, and it really takes me a lot to let go. It's very, very hard.
That's because you, like, when you love something, you love it
very
firmly.
all the way.
Yeah.
But because of that, there's this, like, desperate side of me, I think, that is, like, really cringy and gross that I think I'm evolving from, but when I was younger, I definitely had it. And I always say, nobody reaches back out to me because we burnt that ship to the ground.
Okay, well, I say, first of all, was I really that bad that they're like, oh, I'm never speaking to her again. But no, I'll reach out and I'll say sorry for things because I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And, like, because you don't really deal with it sometimes when you break up. Like, sometimes when you break up, you really don't talk for a while. Or, like, usually when I broke up,
there's, like, a moment of silence.
Yeah, we don't really talk. So, like, after all these years and there's no hard feelings, it's just,
water under the bridge.
Yeah, water under the bridge. Like, I'll be like, oh, I really liked them. Or they were a nice person. Or I hope they're really doing well. Or whatever. But I will say, I don't know if we're just that terrible to date. Or no men reach out to say sorry. The only men that reach out are the ones that want you back.
Yeah.
But, like, none of them own up to their... They just, like, let that shit go.
I'm not...
And there's some that really traumatize me.
I also don't feel like I'm going to put it all on them. I don't think...
Well, I never do. I always reach out to them.
Well, no, and I don't know. I just... It would be nice, but isn't it just, like, ego that I need an apology, right?
Also...
That's so ridiculous.
I wonder, like, now in hindsight, me thinking, wheels turning, am I, like, deep down reaching out to them to say I'm sorry because I want to hear them say, I'm sorry too? Do you know what I mean? Like, am I, like, yearning for that apology?
Yeah.
Which, like, you don't need to move on. You don't need an apology to move on. I don't think, anyway.
I don't think I need an apology from anybody. There have been times where I wanted one, but I so clearly understood that wasn't going to happen. And that was the piece I had with it.
Okay, so, to be clear, Facebook stalking exes, yes or no?
I think it's really normal.
I think it's normal. I would say
I don't think it's healthy.
I don't think it's healthy, especially if you're, just broken up. But I do think it's normal. So I would like to, like, say, don't feel shame around something that's just, like, an internal...
What is curiosity.
Curiosity, yeah, exactly.
I think it's just curiosity because even you can step back and, at least I can, and I know you can, I think as well, like, step back and be like, oh, but who was I at that time? I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, 1 year ago even. And I'm continuing to evolve. I hope they're continuing to evolve.
100.
So it's
and you hope that they are.
It's kind of just like, I think it's normal to want to see where they're at, because when you dated them, you had all these high hopes for them.
Yeah.
So you're just like, did they get there?
And I truly think every single person I dated seriously, I did think I was in love with at the time. You know what I mean? Like, so a part of me is like, oh, I actually do want to see if they're doing well. Or I also want to see, like, I mean, this sounds cringy too. Like, what would my life have been? Like, what are they doing? You know, type thing. But, like, the truth of the matter is we would have a totally different life than the life we've created separately.
Well, it ended for a reason.
Yeah. But it's interesting.
I think it's interesting, and I also think, but I do think it's unhealthy to an extent. If you're unhappy or if you're lonely, don't do it then. And I also think that if you reach out, that's a whole nother level of shit. Like, I would not advise it by any means.
No, I mean,
like, do not look back.
Never
look back.
I will say, like, all of my reach outs have been apologies, and it's been when I've drank too much, and I always tell, I think
and
another thing,
feel terrible after.
Another thing is, like, there's a difference. because my partner, Adam, he knows when that happens, right? Like, I'll talk to him about it or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're doing this stuff behind closed doors, that's a different level.
That's whole different.
Yeah, that's a whole different level. So, okay, so we're saying reach out.
Reach out is absolutely no to me. I mean, although when I have been single, I have absolutely reached out to exes. But again, that was me, I think, probably just being weak and lonely and stupid and thinking that, idealizing something that would never have worked.
Okay, so I just want to make a pledge right here. Exes that have heard from me, I already apologize.
You think they're listening to your podcast?
Oh shit, you're right. Okay,
if anyone... my God, Sally.
No!
Oh my God.
Okay, well, hopefully your ex isn't, because he knows now that we know that he's creeped on you.
I don't care. Good for... I mean, I'm doing great.
Well, I'm just going to clear it. I'm saying this because then I'll never do this again when I drink too much or something.
You're making a pledge.
Yes, making a pledge. Oath. Make an oath. I'm swearing it right now in Kitty's palm of her hand.
You should probably make the pledge to yourself.
Okay, I'm doing it for both.
Yeah.
I have said my apologies. I am done saying sorry, but I am sorry. I actually am very sorry. And I have...
What did you do?
What
did she do?
I got married when I was 28, so that's pretty late, I feel like. And some mistakes had been made. So I do apologize to everybody that I hurt. I love you guys, but not in that way. And and
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm just saying this.
I'm like, why are we making this podcast? I'm like, what's this even?
This is for this. Oh wait, I was about to name a name.
Is this even a debatable topic? Because
okay. So anyway, because I wanted to talk about. Have you ever been reached out to? Because I think I said no earlier. But actually, I was reached out to by a couple, but I think that they had the intention of, like, maybe getting back together. But have you ever had, like, a terrible reach out where somebody reaches out and you're like, this is terrible?
I think that it, like, immediately after is different because that's, like, every guy I've ever dated always comes back.
Is there one that stands out to you?
And I'm not saying that as a cocky thing. I think it's just something men do.
I guess I'm, like, a man.
So... has there been one that stood out?
Like, where they reached out to you and you were just like, this is really crazy. Well, no, I mean, you've had some interesting...
I've had some crazy stories.
After Katie's divorce, you had a couple crazy stories.
Yeah.
I mean...
For another time. I don't think, in the scenario, what we're talking about right now does not happen. Like, I had... Okay. So, for instance, this is one of those examples of, it's like, why hasn't this person, you know, it kind of hurts your feelings when you date somebody for a while and then, like, they break up with you. I've only been broken up with once, by the way. The rest I've broken up with.
But doesn't it, like, sting a little bit more?
But it stings really hard when they never come back around.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Or you're like, we just shared so much.
Like, we were living together and now we don't talk at all.
You've never, and it's so, it seems like everything was fake.
Okay, yeah.
And I think I've dated a lot of people where I've sensed, you know...
Well, that's one thing that we can say. We do not take things... They're never fake to us. I agree. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
everything is
we
real.
really reflect on them every couple of years. Like, I feel like every couple of years I'm, like, thinking, like, oh, man, that was really messed up I did. Or that was a hard one.
Well, I think
you're constantly processing.
We hold ourselves accountable. I know exactly what I've done wrong in relationships, and I know what I would change, and I try to be a better person. So then I'm like... Are they doing that? Like, did they do that? But then they never say sorry. It's fine because you don't need that apology. Again, I think that's, like, ego. But I think that where was I going with this? Just that
no one's reached out to you.
Nobody's reached out to me that I really wanted to hear from.
Okay. No, that's true. That's true. Some reach out to you and then you're like, well, please don't reach out to me anymore type thing. So... I will say I've never been met with that, but that would be that would actually be like really sad. But I was reached out to by an ex once, and this ex was somebody I lived with.
Oh my God, Sally, do you just want to talk to this person?
No. This is a funny story.
Okay.
Do you remember when somebody reached out to me with the poetry slam?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I had an ex, and to say I lived with them, Katie, like, I've lived with 5 men. Like, there's been a couple.
Yeah.
So, this man... I didn't date long, honestly. It was
6 months?
It was like 6 months.
Yeah.
And
that's like the trigger though, that 6-month mark. Sometimes you feel like you're like high on a cloud and it's like the heaviest of
so
hot.
Yeah, okay. That's not how this was.
Okay.
he reached out to me, and he honestly reached out to me a million times after we broke up. But one time he told me he was very excited because he was going to be doing poetry for like a night out at like a local bar or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And he said, I would love to send you the poem I wrote. It's about you. And I was like, oh, okay, that's really nice, but like kind of creepy. Like, that's kind of weird because we're like not together anymore.
Yeah.
No, not shitting you. He sent me a fucking poetry slam. Do you know what that is?
When you diss somebody through poetry?
The whole poem was just a big old slap in the face.
How do you feel?
How good is that, though? Honestly, I kind of appreciate the wit, but also kind of evil.
Okay. And to respect, Mother Taylor Swift, I'm sure she doesn't send her songs to her exes before she releases them. That was like a whole other level of petty.
I don't know, because I remember going on Facebook and like seeing him do it stand up, and I like had to turn it off. I was like, oh my god, they filmed it.
Oh, what did he say? What was like the worst thing he said about you?
Oh Lord, this is really embarrassing. I feel like, okay, cut if you're with children or if your mom and dad. Do not listen. He quoted a time. Oh god, this is terrible.
Oh my god.
I'm sweating.
The anticipation is killing me.
So a little rebrief. I had dated someone previously to him for a while, and I was very used to saying that man's name.
Oh no.
And maybe it might have slipped one time in the middle of the night.
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
I also that's not that bad. I call my son I interchange your names all the time because I'm always
Katie, it wasn't while I was sleeping.
You know what?
Oh, this is so terrible. Do not listen to this if you are. Well, it's too late.
Well, do you want to tell them too? Didn't you tell me that you use pet names now because?
No, I mean after that. No, okay, because I learned this from somebody else I dated who always called me babe from the get-go. He always called me babe, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. But then, like, after, like, a couple months, I was kind of thinking, like, I don't think he's ever said my real name. Like, he always called me babe and never my name. So when he would say my name, there was, like, maybe 3 times. I was like, oh, God, that feels good. Like, my name is being said.
Yeah.
And then I realized he wasn't saying my name because he just could call anyone babe.
Oh.
So I will say I picked it up for a while where I would also call anyone I dated babe, because it's hard to crack. After you date for someone so long, you're used to saying their name.
Okay, this is the twin study portion, I guess, because we didn't really debate anything. But I do
we just agreed that you can stalk your ex.
I'm also, though, I'm not a big fan of pet names, and I do not use them. And if I'm using them, I think that is a sign. I think it's a sign that I really, really trust that person.
Well, no, I know, because it seems unnatural at first.
Yeah, and it's. I think that there's a vulnerability there that I think that I'm.
You think it's hard, but once you call everybody babe, it gets really easy. Then everybody's babe. Like, I call like all the kids at school, like, hey baby, hey babe, hey babe, like, hey sweetheart. Like, I just call everybody that now, and now it's just a part of me. But I think it didn't stem because
oh my God.
No, it didn't stem from that. But it's just also I reflected that.
We have to do a separate podcast of like horrible behavior we picked up from our boyfriends.
Oh my God, I could do so many podcasts on just like horrible criticism about myself.
Oh God. Oh, that would be interesting.
That would be fun though.
Maybe we need to go into like. Okay, well, we're not going to do that right now.
So if this sounds like it was cut, it was because I used the word anywho, and I've noticed I use it too often. So the last topic of debate in not poetry slams. Not poetry slams. Although, do not do that about people and use their name. That's very hurtful.
He used your name in the poetry
Of course. He used my ex's name too, clearly.
I also think Sally could rhyme with a lot of things.
Like what?
Alley, rally, the thing you can't do.
What thing?
You're no longer rallying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so the last topic of debate is, I'm interested to hear.
Oh.
So we talked about it's okay to reach out. No. We debated. We don't think it's...
I don't think it's okay.
You don't think it's okay? I'm not going to do it anymore, although I will say it came from a genuine place in my heart.
I'm saying it's not okay, but I'm not saying I haven't done it. I understand.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
I understand it. I don't want to be a hypocrite, but, like, restrain yourself.
Okay. Well, the next part, dreams. Dreams of exes.
Mm-hmm.
What is your philosophy on that?
I don't think we can control our dreams, and I think it's rarely actually about them.
Yeah, I agree. I think
so we're agreeing.
Yeah, we agree. Yeah, I agree. I think that, like, don't look into it too much. It might be telling you something.
Grain of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It does not mean anything. I think a lot of time you have to pay attention to what feeling you're having in the dream. Mm-hmm. If you're feeling out of control, if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling loved, if you're feeling sad, whatever, it's probably something you're longing for, and I would pay attention to the feeling. I would not pay attention to the person.
Okay, I agree. I actually agree with that. I was listening to a Christian podcast, and they were saying that basically you have to pray these bad dreams away where you're, like, dreaming of your ex.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, so it created a lot of shame in me because, like, you don't control what you dream about, right? So sometimes, like, I'm not saying I had, like, sex dreams with exes, but I had dreams with exes in them, and I'd wake up and I'd be so shamed, and I'd, like, this happened a lot in the beginning parts of my early relationship with Adam. I'd have dreams of exes, but, like, exes from, like, high school.
Yeah.
Or anywhere. Like, just random. Like, I'd be like, oh, that's weird. I had a dream that included him. What does this mean? And I used to think too much into it. And then I listened to that podcast, and they were like, you need to pray that you, like, they said that was, like, temptation. And you need to, like, pray, basically, that you don't have dreams like that anymore. So I spent, like, I'm not even kidding you, like, an entire year praying, like, please don't let them be in my dreams. And then, like, now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, this is absolutely ludicrous. Nobody can control their dreams.
No, and I think, in my perspective, I would have not spent a year praying away people in my dreams.
Okay, well, I
get it. This is how we're different. I really, really believe that the feelings you're having in the dreams probably mean something. The visuals, not so much. And like when we saw Mother Willow, we needed a visual.
Shout out to Mother Willow!
Mother Willow. We needed the visual to get there. Sometimes your spirit guides or whomever is around you or whoever's coming through in that dream, and maybe they're not, maybe you're just in a different state. Whatever needs to be seen for you, for something to click, that's how it's going to happen. I had a dream about an ex for I'm not kidding, my first long-term relationship, serious relationship, I would say, not long-term necessarily. I dreamt about that person. He came in and out of my dreams for probably like 3 years.
No, I agree. I've had a dream about an ex for years.
I don't think it had anything to do with him. I think it had everything to do about the emotions that it invoked when I would see him. It was, and they were like fear-based.
Oh, interesting.
But I think it was a protection. It was like, remember this so you know this.
Okay, see, I'd have dreams that they'd play out almost like not how our relationship was in real life. Like, our relationship in life was, like, toxic, but in the dreams...
about that.
Okay, so in the dreams, it was so happy. And, like, honestly, I really enjoyed them. I was like, oh my God, this is so great. But then I wake up and I'm like, what? That's not how it was at all. Like, it was so bad.
So I have a theory about that as well. I think that's what my belief...
We need a dream interpreter.
We do need a dream interpreter.
If anyone's listening that knows a dream interpreter, we'd love to have you on our show.
Okay, so my theory about that is and again, this is my belief, not everybody's.
Katie's belief.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but my belief is that your spirit guides or whomever, your angels, are showing you examples of what a good relationship looks like. Again, the way you're seeing it is through maybe like your latest partner.
That is so...
But they're showing you what it should be.
Okay, so I just want to say to my spirit guides, that really messed with my head. That really messed with my head.
Get it together!
I know, like literally, like can you just show me like a random person on TV having that relationship with me?
Or like a blobless face.
Or like anyone. Yeah, honestly, show me anyone. I don't even care besides that person because... I would say that really messed with my mind for a long time.
And again, this is my perspective. It doesn't have to be your perspective.
Well, I mean, I'm going to take it, obviously.
I'm not dreaming about my exes ever thinking about getting back together. That's how I feel.
I always wake up and I'm always like, that's not how it was at all. But it's funny because... Yeah, they're always like angels in my dream. Like not angels, but like sweet and nice and kind. And not saying all my exes were bad, but we had fights and like it wasn't the reality of the situation.
Clearly you weren't compatible.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just really interesting to think about.
Yeah. everybody must go through this,
right? Like, do people go through this, or is this only a Sally Katie problem? Oh, we'd love your feedback. This might be the twin study too. Do we only do this because we're similar? Like,
again, it's not like that's genetic or something. Like, clearly, like...
Well, I mean, we both saw Mother Willow together. Maybe maybe we're having dreams that are similar.
I don't know. I have no idea. But it just makes me think because, like, I've definitely had dreams about exes, but I don't think it was actually about the ex. I think it was about...
It was like a different...
It was a symbol of something else or something I need to learn or interpreting it in a way to evolve...
Do you think that people are honest about this? Maybe people are honest about it either, because I feel like I feel like
everybody's lying.
No, but then again, maybe they're not. Like, maybe we're just weird.
Well, I also think if you don't have a secure partner, a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Honestly, I will be in groups of women, and I'll be like,
I only dream of my husband.
Oh my god. or like literally, I mean, like they wouldn't have any of these conversations. That's why we're putting them out there, because. I mean, either we're very odd.
Do we have a comment section or anything? We need to do like nobody's gonna leave a comment and like
follow us on Instagram and leave a comment. And if it's
private message,
if it's a negative, just put it in the messages, not the comment section, right? But no, I literally will be in groups of women, and I feel like they don't have any of these things, and I'm like, are they lying? Are they lying, or are we just? Like, we are wired different.
I think there's a lot of things that are taboo to talk about that should not be taboo to talk about.
Well,
and I think
just very open.
And it's okay to be cringy, and a lot of people feel uncomfortable doing that.
Okay, this is everybody's pass. Be cringy.
Yeah.
Because it makes us feel better about ourselves.
Yeah, like, clearly we need some
We need reassurance. But also, it's okay. You can't help what you dream about. You're still a good person.
You can help if you reach out to an ex, though.
You're not going to hell. You are not going to hell. You are a person.
There is no such thing as hell.
Okay, that was Katie.
Okay.
I actually don't believe in hell either.
Okay, Jesus, like...
But, but Jesus!
Okay,
so
we're going to end this now.
Okay, so thank you for listening to this twin study.
There wasn't much debate going on. I apologize for that.
I feel like, though, it's because we agreed for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're equally terrible people.
I think I'm a great person.
I think I'm a good person, too. We have some things I regret. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad. Okay, we're terrible people. We're terrible people. I don't like that. I don't like that either.
I'm a flawed human being.
I'm very flawed, and I make many mistakes.
I don't like myself either.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for everyone that's interacted with me this point until my life.
What?
At this point, how do I say that?
From win to win.
From my birth to this point in my life.
Oh, all of your existence.
Well, I'm just saying sorry. Although, like, it all hasn't been that bad.
We need to cut this. Adam, cut.
Oh, really? You don't think that needs to be in?
I don't know, you fumbled over your words a little bit.
But that happens.
Okay.
Okay. This is also how we cut our podcast. Katie yells at him, cut.
Cut.
He's a sister.
Oh my god.
He's a sister wife husband.
A whole nother. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyways, I was thinking about a whole other topic we have to talk about later.
Okay, so join us next week on Twin Study After Dark. Thanks again. Bye. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, please rate, review, and subscribe. We'll meet again next week for more Twin Studies. Bye.